It's the Kyle Hyman Show on Redeemer Radio.
This is Kyle Hyman. I am here at the University of St. Francis talking with two people that have come to visit from Haiti. We have Father Andre Sylvestre and Bill Nathan. Thank you both for being here. Father Andre, you have so much going on in Haiti, and I've heard so many stories about you over the years. Curious to hear about the orphanage. When did that start?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And we started in January 2010,
Okay.
right after the earthquake that killed about 300,000 people. I started by renting a house, but I welcomed the first group of orphans on May 3rd, 2010. And right now, I'm taking care of 37 orphans, 18 boys and 19 girls.
Wow.
You may be curious to know why I started the orphanage.
Yeah.
It is based on my background, my story. When I was a kid, I went to school very late. In the beginning, I have to work for 2.5 hours, 3 hours to go and 3.5 hours to come back. So
That's walking?
Walking.
It took you that long to walk to the school?
yes.
Okay.
And it was not easy. I went to school when I was 13, and I completed my elementary school when I was 18.
Okay.
And after my elementary school, my parents could not afford to send me to school. But I used to be a member of a choir running by the Holy Cross Sisters. When I spent 1 month without going to school after I completed my elementary school, I would say, inspired to send a note to the Mother Superior to say, I cannot go to school anymore because my parents could not afford to.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time, we depend on the harvest of coffee. The harvest was not good. Then the Mother Superior said, come with your dad. We'll give you full scholarship. That was the chance for me to be accepted in the middle school, and the sisters could have me to continue with my studies. So I always felt I have a debt to God because I'm not the smartest boy, and I was lucky enough to get the chance to go to school to complete my studies. I feel I have to give something back. So the orphanage is a way for me to give something back, to pay a portion of my debt to God.
Oh. Have any of them grown up and become adults and moved out then?
There is one.
One, okay.
Yes, she is a nurse assistant,
Oh, wow.
and her name is Natasha. She is working right now.
Okay, great. And Bill, you've got a fascinating story. You actually grew up as a slave. And what's the word for that?
Restavec.
Restavec. And so was that ever since birth, or was that something that happened during childhood?
Well, it happened when I lost my parents when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
I had no place to go, and then a family took me to be part of their family. So I thought, well, living on the street is not the best place to be. So a family willing to took me in. You know, as a kid, when you see other kids, so like, oh, you know, you want to play, you want to have some fun. But when I ended up living with that family, they started to treat me as a child slave. And I got beat up, no schooling. You know, and my day would start from 5 a.m. until late at night. So it was really, really hard for me,
And so how long did that last?
Well, I stayed with that family for 2 years. 2 years, not enough to eat, beat up all the time, and then not even a place to sleep. So when I turned 8 years old, and then my mother used to work for the Catholic nuns.
Okay.
And then they heard my living situation, and then I got rescued by 2 guys that came at the house and says, Bill, Sister Carl, I need you. And then that's how I got out.
The people that you were with, were they willing to let you go, or did they put up a fight?
What happened was when the 2 guys came, and then the way it happened so fast. So I didn't think about, I didn't even say goodbye. I just ran with them. I just ran. Because I really wanted to get out of there, but I was so afraid as a kid. And then when I saw these 2 men come, You know, on that day, these two men, there were two angels that God sent and rescued me.
And so then where did you go and what did you do?
Well, when I get to the compounds where the sisters are, they have a big sign says welcome. And then Sister Caroline, she was the head of the congregation.
Okay.
She said, Bill, your mother helped us a lot in this community and do good things for the people. And we have no idea you've been living in that situation. And guess what? We found you a new family. I wasn't too sure about that.
For sure.
You know, and then the first question
You've
I
heard this
asked,
story before.
I said, well, when they beat me where I'm going, and Sister Caroline said, Bill, where you going, everything will be okay. And then they took me to St. Joseph's home in Port-au-Prince
Okay.
when I was 8 years old. And that's where I grew up. And then now I am the one running the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that a common thing at the time during your childhood that people would have a child slave like that?
It's still going on.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. And then that's the reason why I felt that I am an advocate and then helping, you know, children get out of that situation. And that's the reason why we have a school that where those kids will get out and then now they have an education.
It sounds like people didn't know about your situation, and the sisters, as soon as they did, they were able to help you get out of it. Is that the case, that a lot of this is happening in the home and people don't realize that?
Yes,
they're
you're right. So
child
a
slaves?
lot of people doesn't know the living situation for those kids. A lot of them are hidden, you know, someplace, you know.
Okay.
The only way you will know if a friend of yours says, well, there is this kid in my neighborhood, please see what you can do.
Yeah.
Because when you live in this small town, there's no electricity, nothing. There is no way to get the news across. A lot of people don't know about it.
So is this something that is endorsed by the government? Is it legal, or is it technically illegal?
It's not legal.
Okay.
It's not legal. And then once the government find out, you know, they will act on it.
Okay.
They will act on it. But
Okay.
like people do it because they want, you know, they take advantage of the kids.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay an adult to do their work for them. And then they see these kids have no voice. So this kid's going to do everything. I don't have to worry about paying someone.
How did growing up in that situation, being abused like that, how did that affect you, and how have you been able to overcome that?
Well, it's been really tough, but the only way I overcome that is that God has blessed me with a beautiful home. And then they see the potential and they see that, you know, I am somebody. And then they invested on me. And then later on the day, I went back to this family and I said, I forgive you.
How did they respond to that?
Well, you know, they couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They couldn't believe it. And here is Bill, you know, came back and says this to them. And then they couldn't believe it because I did this. I came in a home where I learned about forgiveness. And then I don't want to live in the past. I want to live in the present. But, you know, everything that I have been through. But if one day the family ever think about taking a kid and then treat it the same way, they will always remember. We used to treat Bill like this, and look what he done. So it's a way to heal me because they were in the darkness, and then where God is using me to shine the light upon them so they can continue to do this.
So one of the things, you've become known as Drummer Bill.
Yes.
And wrote a book,
Yes.
actually. And you learned how to drum on a 5-gallon bucket?
Yes, I did. That's how I started because when I was a child slave, I was forbidden to play with children at the house and even in the community because my job is to go fetch water for that family, and then a 5-gallon bucket was really heavy for me to carry, but I couldn't even say no.
7 years old.
I couldn't even say no. But if I ever say no, they were gonna beat me up. So I had to do it. And what they used to beat me up with is the whip made with cowhide. So you will see blood gash in my back and my arms. You see this one here is all the beating. When I get to the water fountain, I have to wait until the water comes. And then while I was waiting, I took the bucket, put it upside down, and started being in the bucket. And then people at the water fountain said, Bill, you are so good, and keep on drumming. You know, that's the first time after my parents passed away someone says, Bill, you are so good. Living with a family where I've been put down, misunderstood, called name, told I was no good. And I've been serving this family. And then now someone says, Bill, you are so good. And I said, well, God has a way out for me. God has a way out for me. So I started playing, and that really motivated me because I see the bucket as my best friend because I spent a lot of time. So when I came to St. Joseph's family, and then they have art and they have music and they have a choir, I said, well, thank you, Lord. This is my place.
Yeah.
And then I got an opportunity and go to a music school in the area. And then from that, I went to school in Senegal and the Gambia in Africa, so learn about drumming. And then I got a chance to go to Duke University there. And then I said, well, I need to go back and give back to my community. So I went back there and started to teach the children drumming and then other music. So it's a way giving back because someone took time and made a difference in my lives. And now it is time to pay back to my fellow brothers and sisters in the country.
Yeah. Well, it's such an inspiring story, and you're able to take such a tragic situation and turn it into an opportunity to help others. And it sounds like the drums have really opened up the doors for opportunities and able to draw attention to your mission. And where can people find information about the orphanage and about the book if they want to support what you're doing?
Well, they can contact Linda, Linda Timan, and then she lives in St. Henry, Ohio. So if they contacted her, she will give all the information.
Okay. And the book is, I know it's on Amazon, I saw.
Yes.
Drummer Bill.
Drummer Bill. But you can also...
Drummer Bill Nathan will help you find it.
Yeah. And then you can also find it at Linda's.
Okay.
Yes. So if you need copies, contact Linda, you'll get one.
Okay.
All right.
And Father Andre, in addition to the orphanage, you're also in the process of starting up a religious order. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. My last foolish dream is to be the founder of a religious order.
All right. And what's the best way to support what you're doing, Father Andre, with your orphanage and this potential new religious order?
The best way is, for example, to pray for me, to contact Amy Obenga, Dr. Amy Obenga, to give you more information.
Great. All right. Well, again, I'll put contact information in the show notes so people want to get a hold of you and support you. They'll have that in there.
Okay.
So thank you both for your inspirational stories. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you so much for having us.